Hello students, here in this video we will see the stability analysis of sampled data control system. So we are going to see how we are going to analyze the stability of this discrete or sample data system. So what are the methods used for analyzing this stability for this discrete time systems or sample data control systems. So stability of the stability of S-plane. We say the system is stable when the roots lie on the left half of S-plane, right? So when the roots are on the imaginary axis, we say the system is marginally stable and it is oscillatory, and it is on the right half of S-plane means we say it is unstable system, right? So that is about our S-plane or the continuous time system. So when you come over to the discrete time system, you have a unit circle, and if the roots lies inside this unit circle, we can say the system is stable. And if it is on the unit circle, it is oscillatory, and if it is outside the unit circle, it is unstable system. Okay, so here the striped plane or the width of the striped plane that indicates a stable system, that is the stability of the system in continuous time. And the unit circle, if the roots lies inside this unit circle, the system is stable for discrete time systems, right? So this is a comparison between the continuous and discrete time system. The left side thing should be mapped down to the left side root should be mapped down to the unit circle in discrete. So we know that we are already given a transfer function, that is a block diagram. We get a transfer function from that, pulse transfer function. Okay, so from this you can obtain your characteristic equation, that is equating your denominator equal to 0. Okay, so from the transfer function, so you have a block diagram and you reduce the block diagram, you find out the transfer function, and from the transfer function you can find out a characteristic equation by equating the denominator part equal to 0. And the roots of this characteristic equation you have to find out, and you have to say whether it is inside the unit circle or outside the unit circle. Okay, so that determines the stability of the system. So for this we have two methods in discussing the stability. So these are the available methods for finding out the stability of the sample data system. First one is Jury's stability test, and second one is bilinear transformation. Third one is root locus technique. So root locus technique we are not going to study here. So only these two techniques are in your syllabus. So root locus technique is it is MTech level, so we are not going to study this. You will be learning only Jury stability test and bilinear transformation in this syllabus. So first we'll see what is Jury stability test. So in Jury stability test, we know that it is to find out whether the roots lies inside the unit circle or not, right? So this is a test which is used for finding out whether the roots of the characteristic equation lies in a unit circle or not. Okay, so in this we have two major parts of this Jury test. One is a necessary condition and a sufficient condition to check the stability. Okay, so necessary condition and the sufficient condition. So you have a polynomial, that is our denominator equating to 0, you get a characteristic polynomial, right? So that is f of z is equal to an z raised to n plus an minus 1 z raised to n minus 1 plus an minus 2 z raised to n minus 2, goes on up to a naught. Okay, so this is a characteristic polynomial when and we are equating it to 0. Clear? Now the necessary condition, you have two conditions in necessary condition itself. First one is f of 1 is greater than 0. Okay, f of 1 greater than 0. So that is, you have f of z function, you have to substitute your z as 1 and find out the value. a1, a2, an minus 1, an minus 2 all will be some coefficients. Okay, if you have a polynomial like z raised to z square plus 0.5 z square plus 2 is like that. So a are the coefficients of that polynomial, and you have z, right? So that z is replaced by 1. Okay, f of 1 greater than 0. So replace that z by 1, find out a value which is greater than, solve that equation so that it is greater than 1. Similarly, minus 1 raised to n, f of minus 1 should be greater than 0. Minus 1 raised to n means what? N is the number of the order of the polynomial or the characteristic equation. The order z cube, if it starts from z cube, is n is equal to 3. If it is z square plus 2z like that, means it is n is equal to 2. So the highest order of your polynomial is your n. So minus 1 raised to n, f of minus 1 greater than 1. These two conditions are satisfied, then you can say the necessary condition is satisfied. Okay, the first part is over. Next we move on to the second part, which is a sufficient condition. Okay, so if the necessary condition is not satisfied, means you can say the system is unstable system, that roots does not lie inside the unit circle. Okay, you do not go to find out your sufficient condition. Okay, so first if your necessary condition is satisfied, you can go to the sufficient condition. You can proceed to your sufficient condition. If your necessary condition is not satisfied, you can stop with that. You can say the system is not stable because the roots are not inside the unit circle. Okay, so next is your sufficient condition. So in this you have to prepare a table like this. So for a table you should know how many rows and how many columns, right? So in order to find out that, you have a formula 2n minus 3 rows. Okay, so 2n minus 3, so n is the highest power or the highest order of your polynomial. If it is 3, substitute 3. If it is 2, substitute 2. So that many rows you have. Okay, so we'll see the first row. So you have if your n is equal to 3, means you will have how many rows? 3 rows, right? Okay, so 6 minus 3. So rows, if you see, you have how many, that rows depends on 2n minus 3, right? So if it is 3, n is equal to 3, means you have 3 rows. Okay, so 1 2 3, right? Then z raised to, z raised to 0 1 2 3, that is from the ascending orders of your z raised to powers you have, right? Z raised to 0 1 2 3. Okay, ascending order you have, right? Okay, the powers of z should be the ascending orders up to z raised to n. Okay, now the first row is nothing but the coefficients of these. So what's the coefficient of z raised to 0? A naught. Z raised to 1? A1. Z raised to 2? A0. It goes on like that up to an. Okay. So that is your first row. First row is nothing but whatever is in your characteristic equation, just write the coefficients. Okay. Next, the second row is just the reverse of your first row. So you have written the first row, right? Just write the reverse. That is, an should be written first. So this is your an. So an you write first. Then an minus 1, n minus 2, it goes up to a0. Okay, so the first row is nothing but just write the coefficients, the corresponding coefficients of your characteristic equation. Okay, so what is z raised to 0's coefficient? You're right, z raised to 1's coefficient, 2 3 like that. Okay, second row is always the reverse. That means the even rows will be always the reverse of your odd row. Okay, so you only have to find out your odd rows. Even rows means just write the reverse of your odd row. Clear? Next, 3. So, row number 3 is B0, B1, B2 up to Bn minus 1. So, always the row B will be 1 less than your row A. Okay. So, after reversing, you have the next row will be B0. Okay. Then B0 will be always less than your one element less than your, that is one column will be less than your A. Okay, so you have if you have 4 columns in A, means you have only 3 in B. Okay, similarly fourth row, I'll tell you how to find out this third row. A fourth row is nothing but the reverse of your third row. Okay, Bn minus 1. So Bn minus 1, n minus 2 up to B0. Okay, similarly you have to find out your fifth, that is odd one. Fifth one, C0, it starts from C0 to Cn minus 2. So this C also will be less than your B. Okay, one column less than B. So it goes on like that, reducing, reducing, reducing. Okay, so so this is your table. You have to, this is how you have to form your table. How many rows you have, that many tables you have to find out. Okay, so how to find out this B naught is, you have to find the determinant of A naught An and An A naught. Okay, so determinant of these two gives you B naught. Clear? So B naught is nothing but the determinant of A naught An and An A naught. Clear? Next, how do you find out B1? So B1 is nothing but the determinant of A naught An and the row, the last before row, An minus 1 A1. Okay, B2 is A naught An, the determinant of A naught An. So this is kept constant. This A naught An is always constant for everything. Okay, uh, B2 is nothing but determinant of A naught An and An minus 2 A2. So it comes like this. Okay, it will be shifting from your last element, it will be shifting towards your front. until it reaches here a1 an minus 1. Okay, so that is how you'll be finding out your b0 values. Okay, so b0 value is nothing but b values are nothing but b naught is obtained by taking the determinant of a naught an and an a naught. Then b1 is obtained by taking the determinant of a naught an and an minus 1 a1. Similarly, b2 is taken written by taking the determinant of a naught an and an minus 2 a2. Then bn minus 1 is taken by taking the determinant of a naught an and a1 an minus 1. So like this. Okay. Next, the even rows are nothing but reverse of your odd row. So just reverse it and write. Similarly, c naught is nothing but by taking the determinant of b naught bn minus 1 and bn minus 1 b naught. So determinant of these two columns. Okay, c1 is nothing but b naught bn minus 1 and bn minus 2 b1. c2 is nothing but b naught bn minus 1 and the next one b2 bn minus 3, this one. Okay, so it goes on. Cn minus 2 is nothing but b naught bn minus 1 and b1 bn minus 2. So this is how you find out your c. Okay, and the sixth row will be just the reverse of your c, previous one. Always the even rows will be the reverse of your previous one. Okay, and one term will be constant in this when you find out your odd rows. First column will be constant, and you will be moving from your last element towards your first element. Okay, so this is how you have to find out your rows, and you have to form the table for this sufficient condition. So next we have some conditions to be proved. So this is what I told you, how to find out b naught, a naught a naught. Okay, so this a naught an is always constant, right? Okay, so this is also constant, here also a naught. So this values alone changes. Okay, similarly c, when you find out b naught bn minus 1 is constant. Okay, so next column elements alone will be changing. Clear? After forming the table, you must check these conditions. You will have n minus 1 condition. So that is n is highest power of your characteristic polynomial. If it is 3, 3 minus 1, you will have two conditions. Okay, so the first condition is a naught is less than a. So a naught and an is from the table. You have to find out what is your a naught and an values you can get. Similarly, here you have to consider only the magnitude part. So the magnitude part is alone considered. If you have signs, you have to neglect the signs and consider only the values, or the magnitude part alone. You have to compare a naught less than an, b naught greater than bn minus 1, c naught greater than cn minus 2. So only a naught is less, other conditions are greater. Okay, so this if these conditions are satisfied, you can say the sufficient conditions are satisfied, hence the system is stable and the roots or the poles of the system lies inside the unit circle of z plane. Okay, so even if one condition is not satisfied, you have to say the system is unstable condition. So this is what the procedure, or the how to determine the stability of a discrete time system or sample data system using Jury's test. So in next is you are going to use bilinear transformation method. So in bilinear transformation, we are mapping the interior of unit circle in the z plane into the left half of s plane or r plane. Using the transformation, z is equal to 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r. So we are using this transformation to convert our z plane into an s plane or r plane. Okay, so we have a characteristic equation like an is raised to n plus an minus 1 is raised to n minus 1. It goes on up to a naught, or a naught is equal to 0. So we are going to replace your z by 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r. Okay, so in the characteristic equation, the z is replaced by a transformation, that is 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r, right? Then you have to simplify the equation. Okay, you are going to simplify that equation. After simplification, you will get bn r raised to n plus bn minus 1 r raised to n minus 1 plus b1 r plus b naught is equal to 0. That means you will get a equation in terms of r. Okay, because z has been replaced by r, right? So you'll get an equation in terms of r. So this is a new characteristic equation, and we are going to apply Routh stability criteria. Okay, and find the roots are on the left half of S plane. So what is the condition for Routh stability criteria? The first column should not have any sign change. Okay, first thing is you should have all positive values in your characteristic equation. All the coefficients should be positive. Second thing is there should not be any sign change in the first row of your Routh array. So that is the two conditions which you are going to see. So first condition is the necessary condition. We are considering condition as necessary condition in which all the coefficients of the new characteristic equation must be positive, and the sufficient condition is there should not be any sign change. No sign change in the first row of the Routh array. So we'll move on to the problems. So in this problem, you are going to see you have to determine the stability of the sample data control system by Jury's test. So you are given a question as z cube minus 0.2 z square minus 0.25 z plus 0.05 equal to 0. Okay, so here we are. This is your f of z. Okay, so f of z is equal to, you're considering the given equation as f of z. So what's the first necessary condition is f of 1 should be greater than 0, right? So substitute f of 1. So you will get, when you substitute f of 1, what will you get? You will be getting as z, instead of z you substitute 1. 1 cube minus 0.2, 1 square minus 0.25, 1.05. So we will get an answer as 0.6, which is greater than 0. Similarly, minus 1 raised to 3, because z cube, right? So you have to write highest power is 3, so minus 1 raised to 3, f of minus 1. So substitute z is equal to minus 1. Find and simplify that, you will get 0.9 greater than 0. So you can say the necessary conditions are satisfied because it should be greater than 0. Next is the sufficient condition. So for the sufficient condition, you must first uh, determine how many rows you have. So rows formula is nothing but 2n minus 3. So n is nothing but 3 here. Okay. So 6 minus 3, you get 3 rows. Okay. So you have a row in which 1, 2, 3 you have. Then z high from the ascending order. Ascending order powers you have to write. Z raised to 0, 1, 2, 3. Right. Then a0, a1, a2, a3 are nothing but the coefficients of your characteristic equation. Z raised to 0. What is the coefficient is 0.05. Z raised to 1. 1 is minus 0.25, 2 is 0.2, and a3 is 1, right? Now we got the first row. Second row is just the reverse of your what? First row. Okay, so just write 1 minus 0.2 minus 0.25 and you will get 0.05. Next B naught. B naught is nothing but determinant of A naught A3. Okay, determinant of A naught A3 and A3 A naught. Okay, so substitute A naught A3 is nothing but 0.05 and 1, right? Similarly 1.05. So you'll get an answer as minus 0.9975. Similarly B1 is A naught A3, you keep it as constant, and the second last row you have to take. Okay, A to A1. A to A1 you take it as minus 0.2 minus 0.25. So when you take determinant, you will get 0.1875. Similarly, B2 is nothing but A0, A3 and the third last one. Okay. So with B2 you have to stop because always your B will be one column less than your A, right? So don't take B3 also and just take A0, A3 into A0, A3, right? So that is not that will be totally wrong. So always your B should be less than A. Okay. So this is how you have to fill up your table. So filling your table, so this will be your table. You have a reversing that, you have a second row, then you have third row. Next you have to check the condition. First condition is a0 should be less than a3. So what's your a0 here? A0 is 0.05 and a3 is 1. So 0.05 is less than a3, that is 1, which is satisfied. Similarly b0 is greater than b2. Okay, b0 is nothing but minus 0.9975 and 0.24. Okay, so 0.9. So you should take only, don't take the negative value, that is minus is not considered, only the magnitude part you have to consider. So 0.9 is greater than 0.25, which is also satisfied. Hence both the conditions are satisfied. The system is stable. So we'll move on to the next problem. So next problems you have f of z is equal to z raised to 4 minus 1.7 z cube plus 0.04 z square and minus 0.268 z plus 0.024. So the necessary condition, first replace your z by 1, find out which is greater than 0, then minus 1 raised to n f of minus 1, find out whether it is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, you can say your necessary conditions is satisfied. Next, we'll move on to the sufficient condition. So, sufficient condition, we need to find out how many rows are there. So, 2n minus 3, n, you have 4. Because highest power of your characteristic equation is z raised to 4, so 4. So, 8 minus, okay. So, 8 minus 3, you have 5 rows, okay. So, 5 rows you have. So, first row should be the coefficients of your z0, z1, z2, z3, z4. Second row will be just the reverse, so write reverse. Next, B3. Sorry, third row is B naught. B naught is the determinant of A naught, A4, A4, A naught. Okay, first and your last element you have to take it out. Okay, then you have to move forward. Then B1 is A naught, A4, A3, A1 determinant. Similarly, B2 find out as A naught, A4, and A2, A2, and B3 is A naught, A4, and A1, A3. Okay, so find out the values of B0, B1, B2, B3. You substitute all those things, that will be a third row. Just reversing, you will get your fourth row. Here you have to find out your C naught. C naught is B naught, B3, B3, B naught. So here you should not consider your A, you should consider only your B values, because A is over. A values will be calculating to find out your next B rows. After finding out your B rows, you must use these B rows to find out your C. Okay, so don't substitute A naught, A3. Okay, B0, B3, B3, B0. Okay, find out your C naught, C1, C2. Okay, always your B will be one column less than your A. Similarly, your C will be one column less than your B. Okay, after finding out the determinants, you can put it in the table form. So don't forget to put it in the table form. Always, everybody finds out the determinant and they stop up to that. So please put it in the table form, because it will be easier for you to check the condition. Okay, so just write it like this in the table form. Then you have to check the condition A naught. A naught is less than A4, that is 0.024 is less than 1. Yes. Then B naught is greater than B3. So B naught is greater than B3 means minus 0.9. So don't consider this minus here. So 0.9 is greater than 0.2. Right. Next one is C naught, 0.94 is greater than 0.62. Yes. So that is also okay. So all the conditions are satisfied. So you can say that your conditions are satisfied. So please look at like this. So always your A will be your B will be less than your A. Okay, one column less. Similarly, your C one column less than your B. Okay, so please don't also find your last column over. So many students do this mistake in their exams. So please just have a be careful in calculating this. Always your A one column will be less than your A is your B. Similarly, one column less will be your C. So next is determine the stability analysis test by bilinear transformation. So the same problem I have taken here for bilinear transformation. F of z is equal to z cube minus 0.2 z square minus 0.25 z plus 0.05. So I am using the transformation z is equal to 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r. So replace your z by 1 plus r by 1 minus r the whole cube minus 0.2 1 plus r by 1 minus r the whole square minus 0.25 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r plus 0.05. Okay, so you have to take LCM and simplify the equation. So finally you will be an equation like um, 0.9 r cube plus 0.36 r square plus 2.9 r plus zero point 0.6. So you have to open up your brackets. You have to simplify, collect your r cube together, r square together, r and constants together. Finally you get an equation like this. Okay, simplification is a little bit complicated, so please be careful in simplifying. Okay. Um, then you have to apply Routh-Hurwitz criteria to this new characterization. So that is what we have shown here. So in this, First thing you have to check the necessary condition, that is all the coefficients should be positive. Okay, so for the new characteristic equation, you have to check whether all the coefficients are positive. It is positive, so necessary condition is satisfied. Next, you have to see the route array. So route array is starting from your highest power of your characteristic equation, r cube, r square, r1, r0. So Jury's test, you will be starting from your lowest power. So you'll be writing the powers in ascending order, that also in a horizontal way, whereas in bilinear transformation you'll be writing in the descending order in the vertical form. Okay, so r cube means you have to write the coefficients of your odd powers coefficient, you have to write zero point 0.9 and 2.9. R square means you have to write the even power coefficient 3.6 and 0.6. Then r raised to 1 means you have to take multiply this 3.6 into 2.9 minus 0.9 into 0.6 divided by 3.6. You get 2.75. Similarly, 0.6 is obtained by 2.75 into 0.6 minus 0 into 3.6 divided by 2.75, which gives you 0.6. So in this there is no sign change. If you see the first column, there is no sign change. So it tells that there is no roots outside the unit circle, all the roots are inside the unit circle, hence the system is stable. So we'll move on to the one more problem we'll see in bilinear transformation, that is f of z is equal to 5z square minus 2z plus 2. So I'm replacing z by 1 plus r divided by 1 minus r. Okay, then I have taken LCM 1 minus r the whole square, and the denominator goes to the right hand side, becomes 0. So I'm expanding all the squares, multiplying it, collecting all the square terms r and the constants together, and finally I'll get an equation like this: r 9 r square plus 14 r plus 5. So this is my new characteristic equation. You can say the all the coefficients are positive, so necessary condition is satisfied. Sufficient condition can be obtained by constructing route array. So r square is the highest power, so r square, the coefficient of the even powers I have written, r raised to 1, the coefficients of the odd powers, then r raised to 0, multiply, find out 14 into 5 minus 0 into 9 divided by 14 gives you 5. So first column is all positive, so the roots lie inside the unit circle, hence the system is stable. So this is what the stability analysis part of discrete time system or sample data system using the two methods. Thank you.